12 years ago, I created a method that would go on to change over 1 million lives worldwide. Hi, I'm Ryder, and today I'm doing a quick fire of the 50 most important rules I've learned about using a notebook with the bullet journal method to write a better life. Let's go. Start with a need. A tool is only as useful as its purpose. Get clear on what challenge or aspiration you want your notebook to help you with. Start with an intention. When you have clarified your need, you can set an intention for your notebook. An intention clarifies a purpose, motivates your practice, and focuses your content. Start with what you'll use. Get a notebook that won't be too precious to write in. Start with what you have. The best way to find the perfect notebook is to start using the one that you have and let that experience define what you actually need. Start with what you'll bring. The best notebook is the one that you take with you. Find a notebook that you'll actually carry. The best tool is useless if it's not there when you need it. Start with one source of truth. Keep all your notes in one place if you can. Otherwise, you have to keep deciding where to write things down, or worse, not remembering where you wrote something down later. Start with what you need. Rather than using tools that look good, use tools that actually solve a real problem in your life. Design your practice to serve you. Your journal should make life easier, not create more work. Start to experiment. Try different approaches without worrying about perfection. Start with an index. Create an address book for your ideas by listing the topics and the page numbers at the front of your book so you can quickly find your ideas again later. Write by hand. When it comes to your life, slowing down is a feature and not a bug. It engages your brain differently and helps your mind and your body connect to help you better memorize and engage with the content that you capture. Write one sentence a day. Consistency is the key to writing a better life. And one sentence usually leads to another. Write to think. Trying to work things out in our head can be really overwhelming and confusing. Capturing thoughts on paper helps us to see them clearly, making them much easier to work with. Write to feel. Writing down emotions helps you acknowledge and process them. Over time, it also reveals patterns for what gives or takes energy from you. Write to act. We use actions instead of tasks to remind us of our agency. Tasks are for things we have to do. Actions allow us to transform possibility into reality. Write now. Practice offloading thoughts and feelings immediately to clear your mind, regulate your nervous system, and to capture an accurate record of your experiences. Write honestly. The more honest you're writing, the more valuable your insights. Try not to hide from yourself in your notebook. Writing can be a great way to connect with what is actually going on inside of you, and that's critical information for helping you figure out what to do next. Write gratefully. Life reflects what we pay attention to. Gratitude, I think, is a skill, and it's a skill of paying attention to the good. Don't just write down what's not working out or the challenges in your life. Include what you're grateful for, especially when things get hard. Write for a stranger. What makes sense for you today probably won't make a lot of sense to your future self. Write clearly enough that anyone could understand to future-proof your notes. Write with purpose. Give each page a topic to help you focus and clarify the content that you'll then capture. Over the long run, this will make your notes much more useful. By the way, if you're getting any value from this list, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really does help. Okay, so now we've gotten the basics and learned about why we should write, but here's where it starts to get really powerful. Read your writing. Writing is only the first step. Reading what you wrote is where things really get interesting. Read ritually. Block out regular intervals to read what you actually wrote. I suggest daily, weekly, and monthly. Read to reflect. As the saying goes, we don't learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience. Read for patterns. Look for themes that repeat across your days, weeks, and months. These can be patterns in your thinking, in your feeling, and in your doing. Your patterns often reveal your actual priorities, whether you're aware of them or not. Read to celebrate. Reading your notes can be a great opportunity to look for the evidence of your growth, breakthroughs, moments of clarity. If you're only looking for problems, it trains your brain to only see those problems. You can also train your brain to look for the things worth celebrating. Read compassionately. Read your honest writing as though it came from a loved friend. then think about how could you best be there for them instead of judging them. Read curiously. Our life is the sum of what we're paying attention to. So when you read, pay attention to what you're paying attention to. Read to write. This sounds meta, but hear me out. This is a real game changer. Make notes on your notes. Write down what comes up as you read your own writing. Chances are something will surface that may have been hidden in plain sight. Read for objectivity. It's easy to get lost in our own plot when we keep it in our head. When you read, try to take a step back. What do you actually observe? What are the patterns in your thinking, in your feeling, in your doing? Which brings us to the next and arguably the most important step. Read to act. The only thing that we can control is how we respond. When you see life patterns that you don't like, think about ways that you can change your conditions and then turn those insights into actions. By the way, if you want to learn how you can read and write regularly, consider checking out our Bullet Journal Foundation Plan, where me and my team run weekly and monthly live planning sessions to help you with everything I just mentioned and to help you prepare for what we're about to talk about. Act on experience. Rather than trying to guess as to what you should do, let your actual results guide your decisions. Act on one thing at a time. Multitasking is a myth. The more things that you pay attention to, the less valuable your attention becomes. Act on priority. Only one thing can be the most important thing. When everything's a priority, nothing is. Act with integrity. Who you're being informs how you will do things. So figure out who you want to be before you figure out how you will do it. Act sustainably. Optimize for progress, not perfection. Look for the smallest ways to move forward rather than waiting for some massive action. Big breath, little steps. Act for time. Time can be taken from us or by us. Act by blocking out time for important things before others can claim it. Act to counteract. For everything you say yes to, you're saying no to something else. One of the most powerful ways to get things done is proactively saying no to things already on your to-do list. Act with purpose. Regularly rewrite your actions to think about them. If an action isn't even worth the moment it takes to rewrite it, it's probably not worth doing in the first place. Act on resistance. The things that you resist are often the things that you need to do the most. Let that discomfort guide you. You'll be surprised how quickly you can make progress on the things that you've been putting off once you just get into action. Act, don't react. Take time to respond thoughtfully rather than jumping at the first impulse or doing something just because it's convenient. Okay, I know that was a lot, so I thought it would be helpful to summarize the impacts of what all these tips can have in writing a better life in these last 10 tips. Be intentional. When you practice writing with purpose and setting clear intentions, you stop drifting through life on autopilot. Be focused. When you learn to act on one thing at a time and to protect your yes, your scattered attention becomes much more focused. Be honest. When you write openly and read compassionately, you develop the ability to be with whatever comes up for yourself. You start to treat yourself as a friend. Be patient. When you act sustainably with small steps, you learn that real change happens gradually and not overnight. Be compassionate. When you view your own struggles with kindness, you naturally extend the same grace to others. Be curious. When you regularly read for patterns and reflect on experience, you start to find ways forward in places that you didn't before. Be consistent. Even if it's just a couple minutes a day, when you keep doing these things over and over again, they become more and more natural and more useful. Be authentic. When you write, try to be fully yourself in your pages. Then all of it becomes much more useful and practical and valuable. Be responsive. What worked for you in one season of your life may not work for you in another season of your life. The beautiful thing about this practice is that it always meets you where you are. It gives you the agency and the flexibility to adapt to whatever you need. Be present. Ultimately, I think that's what writing a better life boils down to. It's how present we can be in each and every moment. The more present we can be, the more we get out of the life that we live. Okay, so those were my 50 quickfire rules that can help you write a better life, one page at a time. Now here's my challenge for you. Pick one of those 50 rules and try it on for the next 48 hours and then let us know how it went. Which one of these rules had the most value for you? And if you want to learn how to record your life this way, check out this video next. Thank you so much for taking the time, and I'll see you in the next one.